Hey guys, welcome to the Rubin Report, and unless there's been a coup, I'm Dave Rubin. I've got LeeannTweeden and Gina Grad with me. Let's get to it. All right, George Bush, George W. Bush, he's back, people. He was interviewed by ABC's Jonathan Karl, and he's chiming in, or not so chiming in, kinda on some stuff. Let's take a look at the first clip.
Now, I saw a journalist in Zambia asked you about gay marriage and whether it is compatible with Christian values, and you had an interesting response.
I shouldn't be taking a speck out of somebody else's eye when I have a log in my own.
I meant that I wasn't going to answer the question then, and I'm not going to answer it now in terms of the political question about whether or not, I just don't want to wade back in the debate. I'm out of politics. But I meant it's very important for people not to be overly critical of someone else until you've examined your own heart.
All right, I like that quote. I want to get it right. I shouldn't be taking a speck out of someone else's eye when I have a log in my own. Is that a subtle gay joke? I'm not so sure.
No, right in the eye.
Ladies, what do you think about this? Because it seems to me that, he gets out and now he's starting to chime back in on things, but still just won't jump on the gay I mean, just go for it already.
To me, I think, I totally respect his view of not responding. He isn't the president anymore, and I'm sure they asked him for the interview, and they want to ask him about that because it's his party and what does he think. I'm okay with that, and I think at the end, that last quote, he was probably referring to Dick Cheney, who has a gay daughter. And so I'm saying, I think he's going, look, most Americans are very personal in their politics, and you go and you vote your politics when you go to the voting booth, and a lot of times you don't know what your neighbor thinks or what they're gonna vote on. So I think he's like, you know what, to each his own, and I'm out of politics. I don't need to answer that question, and I respect that.
A defense of George Bush in the Young Turks studio. How about that? Do you think the president? What, two? Do you? I mean, do you think the former presidents that they should just stay out of everything?
No, I don't think they should stay out. If they have an opinion, go for it. But I think we're all so used to, it's been long enough that W hasn't been in the office that we're used to him saying something stupid. There are coffee table books about it. There's all kinds of, funny little things and memes and all this stuff, that everything that comes out of his mouth is complete chaos and crazy bullshit. And it is so refreshing for him to be like, look, I'm out of politics, and to each his own, and all these wonderful things that we could have used, before.
He's been very quiet.
Right?
He's been very quiet in his retirement, which has been great. He's like, you know what, I'm out. I don't need to talk about things.
He's trying to chill, and he doesn't want to get thrown back into this
But
stuff.
is there a little piece of it that's a little disingenuous because, it was him when he was being reelected that made gay marriage like a real wedge issue?
Yeah, but why does he need to talk about it now? I mean, why are you, if he wants to keep it personal, why are you mad that he doesn't want to say it out loud?
I don't know that I'm mad. It just seems to me like get on the right side of history.
Whether you don't, why does anybody go vote?
And on top of that, if he supported gay marriage, I'd be even more pissed, because I'd be like, where was this guy when you actually made a difference?
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's okay for, screw you.
Well, that's an interesting point, because somebody like Dick Cheney, the second he was out, suddenly, now he backs gay marriage. Everybody, the second they're not in it anymore.
And speaking of writing books, I mean, how about our vice president now? He's probably written a few chapters of his own.
Biden's got stuff waiting.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's the same thing. You get this like crazy old Uncle George vibe, and it's like, he's elderly now, kinda, and he just go sit in the corner.
See, I like him.
Drink your chamomile.
He does come off
honest.
He comes off as more likable now, for sure. Yeah. But let's watch this other clip. So he was also discussing the NSA tactics and what happens once you become president, and he was sort of backing President Obama on this. Take a listen.
Are you surprised that President Obama has kept in place so many of your counterterrorism programs, including those he criticized as a candidate?
I think the president got into the Oval Office and realized the dangers to the United States, and he's acted in a way that he thinks is necessary to protect the country. Protecting the country is the most important job of the presidency.
Okay, so I can kind of back what the ladies are saying about the gay marriage thing, and he's trying not to jump in on it. This thing, though, seems really awful to me, because everyone runs on an idea, and then the second they become president, they change everything. Oh, now I have some new information, and now I have to say some other things. Why do we believe anyone that's running for anything ever, right?
But if you look at Obama's track record on everything that he promised when he became president, I think he's done like maybe a half of one thing. So he's been very terrible on that record. If you look at the facts, whether I'm an Obama supporter or not, I'm not going to say that. But I'm just saying, if you look at the facts, what he said. So
right. So even the NSA stuff, for example, he said, "Oh, we're going to do this responsibly."
Drones, spying. I mean, there's a lot of things that he's continued on. The wars. I think he realizes things aren't shutting down Guantanamo. Things aren't as easy as what they say, and the platform that everybody wants to hear. Let's admit it. Politicians say what you want to hear. So people go, oh yay, hoorah, I'm going to vote for that, and then nothing happens. But I think when it comes to NSA, look, we all know we've been surveilling each other. It's been happening. I mean, the Cold War, people just said yesterday, oh, you know what? There's still some towers up that the Russians have, and they've been spying on us. You know what? Everybody's spying on each other. Everybody has technology. Everybody knows. Sure, has it gone too far? Maybe. In saying it's the defense of the country, sure, it probably has stopped a lot of things. Yeah. So there is a fine line. I don't know. I'm not president. I know it's a really damn difficult job.
But is that a valid excuse? Because they all run saying one thing, and then the excuse just comes. I mean, even Bill Maher was giving Obama a pass on this, saying, "Well, you find out stuff." The same thing that Bush just said.
Well, and that's the thing. I was hoping for more of a hot chick counterpoint, but I agree with Leanne. I really do. I mean,
we'll
seriously,
get you to fight
explode
at
it because that's exactly. I think when you're running and you haven't been the president before, you are the people's voice. And then once you cross that line, you're the president. Now it's kind of you against them because you know things they will never know.
Exactly.
Don't you want that list? Isn't that why their hair turns gray after 2 weeks? Because they're told
he's aged
right.
The lizard people are among us, and they're like, oh fuck. So they know everything that we don't know. So all of a sudden, they're not speaking for us anymore.
Right. So we're all admitting freely that when they're speaking for us before they become president, that it's all a lie, right? I mean, is that pretty much what we're saying? That it's sort of willful ignorance just to get in?
It's more that than a lie.
Well, I think there's a lot of things in politics, money, lobbyists, there's a lot of things that come about when you actually get into the office and then you go, well, I would like to pass this, but then I'm not going to get this, and this done or push through if I don't get them to work with me. So it's a lot more difficult. Look, all politicians across the board are liars. Let's face it. And they know they say things that they will never be able to fulfill. And I mean, it's democracy.
Yeah. So final point on this. Should Obama actually be a little annoyed at George W. Bush? Because when he says nice things about him, that can't be good for Obama's ratings. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
That's a really good point.
Or should he be like, I'll take it.
You know what? I have a quick anecdotal support of what you just said. I used to live in a super bad neighborhood for a long time. And a couple nights a week, a cop would roll up next to me and be like, hey, do you want me to escort you home? And I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're ruining my rep. You're going to make me look. So I feel like that's kind of how Obama feels. Don't help me. Get off me. You're not helping.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's actually making it worse.
Right, like they show the two of them in Africa like they're buddies, and Obama's like, not this guy.
No photo ops. No photo ops.
Yeah.